A very special astrological configuration is unfolding on May the 18th. 6 planets are in an unusual alignment, indicating something very special is brewing. Stay tuned for more details. But first, a warm welcome here on my YouTube channel. And if you would like to receive a weekly energy update about what's important for you in the upcoming week, sign up for my free newsletter, where I share this information with you every week. You find the link below this video in the description box. And if you are also interested in learning Vedic astrology, check out my free astrological workshop, where I will show you what the planets and the houses mean and how to decode your own horoscope. On May the 18th, and this energy update does not just apply only on that one day. These energies are building very strongly now, and they will remain very active for several days afterward. Rahu, the north node of the moon, and planet Mars are meeting exactly at 19 degrees in the sign of Pisces. Mars is always a trigger that sets events in motion. Mars represents action, but also often accidents and conflicts. And Rahu, the north node, amplifies those energies, creating a really highly explosive energy cocktail when they meet exactly. And in this video, I will give you more information what this energy really means. And we will take a look at a few country horoscopes to better understand how these energies can unfold. In the sign of Pisces, the last and very intense solar eclipse happened. And now this event occurs very close to the degree of the eclipse. It will happen at 19 degrees, and the eclipse occurred at 25 degrees. It is always of great significance when a planet in transit moves near the degree of the last eclipse, especially when the planet is Mars. But this conjunction of Mars and Rahu is not only special for that reason. At the same time, Venus and Uranus are both in the sign of Aries, almost exactly together, in the nakshatra Kritika at 29 degrees. And also, at the same time, the Sun and Jupiter are nearly exact at 3 degrees in the sign of Taurus. So we have 6 planets all in a very exact conjunction on the same day. And such special energies always indicate special events. It's a bit like with us humans too. When we sit too close to each other, it usually doesn't work out well, and we start to feel uncomfortable. Planet Saturn, is not directly involved, but is also in the mix, as Saturn has its third aspect directly on Uranus and Venus. What do these energies mean for us? There are 2 major topics being triggered on the world stage. But of course, it's also important to look at your personal horoscope to see what this means for you. And I will share more information what this special energy means for you in my membership. And what I want to say beforehand is that planets don't determine your life or what happens to you. I'm talking about the qualities of the planets, but what we make what we make out of these energies and how we express them is always up to us. However, the more conscious you are, the more you will master challenges in your life in a positive way, and they will make you stronger, because that's the most important reason why you are here as a soul on earth, to master challenges and understand the energies, to realign your life in a better way. And if you are even more interested in astrology, feel free to check out my new workshop on Vedic astrology, where you will learn more about what the planets and the houses mean and how astrology can help you to understand yourself better and discover your inner true potential. But now let's come back. One of these two major topics, unfortunately, is the topic of war. Mars represents passion, but also aggression and weapons and war. And Rahu is like pouring oil into the fire of Mars, and it will expand those energies. And then we also have Ketu. Who is Ketu? Ketu is the south node of the moon. And when Ketu comes in connection with Mars, like here, because Ketu is in the opposite house of Rahu, Ketu is in the sign of Virgo, this can also mean terrorist attacks. And the background could very likely be religious reasons, because the sign of Pisces is strongly associated with this subject, especially with Rahu. Rahu represents the foreign, the unknown. But what does it mean when Uranus and Venus are coming together exactly at the same time? Uranus brings the element of unexpected and sudden changes. Uranus stands for rebellion and revolution, for electricity, often from out of nowhere. And at the same time, Venus is not really powerful, because she is very close to the Sun, and thus her positive vibes of love and compassion, appreciation and diplomacy cannot be properly seen and felt. Uranus and Venus are in the nakshatra Kritika, a nakshatra of the Sun, and this brings egocentric actions. Kritika is really critical, and with this nakshatra one tends to see differences rather than what connects together. And then we also have Jupiter and the Sun in the sign of Taurus. They are also coming together in an exact conjunction. Both are actually very shiny planets. But Jupiter cannot bring its wisdom and positive vibes properly, because in this exact conjunction, Jupiter's qualities are overshadowed by the Sun. And all of this is happening at the same time. The energies speak a clear language that things will be critical during this time period. But how the energies play out, that is up to all of us to decide, and especially your own consciousness determines what experiences you make. Essentially, everything we experience serves us. Life serves us. And it's up to you how to ride the waves. The second topic triggered on a collective level with these energies is the topic of natural disasters, especially earthquakes, but also particularly the activity of volcanoes and the activity of the sun, which we are currently experiencing intensely with those beautiful auroras we can see. This means we may experience such events more frequently in the near future, and even the shift of the poles of the sun could be activated by these energies. We have already been experiencing the increased activity of our planet since the last solar eclipse, so it could also be related to a major volcanic eruption or earthquake, although it doesn't have to be, but it is one option which could happen. But now let's look which countries could be mostly affected by these energies on May the 18th. And like I told you, it must not happen exactly on this day. It could also happen at a time span before or after. The United States is at the forefront. For the USA, it is the 4th house in the horoscope, where Rahu and Mars meet. And the 4th house is our motherland, our ground, our homeland. And like I told you, Rahu and Mars can bring up fights and really terrorist attacks. That's not easy. And for you personal, it's also important to check your horoscope. This means there can be some act of terrorism, and also because of racism, mainly racism. And we see what's now happening in the USA. The split is growing bigger and bigger between different opinions, and the people really act out of aggression. That's not really good. So this is one thing that could happen. But also we have to look on the opposite house of the 4th house. And this is the 10th house. And the 10th house, there is Ketu, and Mars will be in opposition. So this means it can also bring up some attack to a leader, because the 10th house stands for the leader of a country. And this is not easy. Maybe there could be something happening that takes the leader out of its position, or also a terrorist attack. We will see and hope that nothing bad will happen. This is really only possibilities. It must not happen. That's really important. But the issues of racism and religious belief systems is really active at this time with these energies. Let's hope that it's only leads to peaceful demonstrations. For the country Ukraine, this energy mix activates the planet Jupiter and also Mercury and Venus and the Sun. And all of those planets are located in the horoscope of the Ukraine in the 8th house. And this activates all the topics of the 8th house. And the 8th house stands for big transformations, for ups and downs, and for really change that can happen. And this can also mean regarding who governs the country, because the sun stands for the leader of a country. And we see in the country Ukraine, this is really an important topic right now. And there could be change in leadership. For Israel, it is the 7th house. And also check my May update, where I spoke about the whole month of May. And there I also spoke about Israel. And for Israel, it is the 7th house. But also the sign of Aries, the 8th house, and also the 9th house, the sign of Taurus. They are all particularly activated by these energies. And the sun in Israel's horoscope is in the sign of Taurus, where Jupiter and the sun will come together in transit, just 2 degrees apart from the sun in the horoscope, in the birth horoscope. Here too, it could mean that a change in leadership is imminent, and also a confrontation about what is right, how to lead, what is the right direction. And also the opponents can be very strong, because Rahu and Mars will meet in the 7th house, in the sign of Pisces, and this represents our opponents. And this means that our opponents are really activated and maybe aggressive, and maybe also planning or acting out a terrorist attack. And it is also, the sign of Pisces is connected with churches and temples and also hospitals. So that's really not a good energy. I hope they are really careful, especially at this time zone. In the country horoscope of Taiwan, Taiwan is really also very activated, because there it's also, Pisces is the 7th house, and this represents opponents, mainly China maybe, and who could be very strong, and especially this can mean an attack over water, because Pisces is connected to the ocean, to the sea, and in this horoscope this can bring up opponents that can fight from the water, from the ocean, from ships. And in the horoscope of Taiwan, planet Mars is in the sign of Taurus, really very near Jupiter and Sun, when they are there at 3 degrees coming together. And Mars is the ruler of the 8th house. And the 8th house, like I told you, symbolize change and big transformation, really big transformation, big ups and downs. For Iran, the Rahu-Mars conjunction occurs in the sign of Pisces in the 9th house. And the sun is very close to this Rahu-Mars conjunction. The sun is at 17 degrees and the conjunction is at 19 degrees, which also involves the 9th house stands for our religious leadership of the country. And this could mean the risk of an attack could also be very high, of violence against a religious leader. This could mean the risk of an attack is really high, but also that violence may emanate from this party towards others. I know that many people do not like to deal with this type of predictions, and I can understand that. We should focus on the positive things in our lives. But at the same time, I believe we are here to face challenges and become increasingly aware of how we can read energies to better understand ourselves and others. Maybe videos like these can demonstrate the potential and power of Vedic astrology to bring us closer, to understand connections and motifs. And only through understanding can we truly create change in our lives. These major energetic shifts we are experiencing right now, really, they show us we are part of a big transformation. And we must also understand that fear is a part of us, of our energy. The external world reflects our own inner fears, and it is worth to start to feel them, because behind every fear lies a gift when we face the fear. We can only generate those feelings within ourselves due to our own negative beliefs. Often, confronting challenges helps us become aware of what we truly want. And that's part of the current times, and especially the year 2024. No matter how rocky the path seems and how great the chaos is, in the end, everyone will reach where he wants to be. So please feel free to share this video, and thank you so much, and I love you.